All right, so good afternoon and welcome. I'm Kevin Arata with the City of Fayetteville. On behalf of Mr. Hewitt and Mayor Colvin, welcome to today's event, talking about the All-American Marathon. We have with us behind me Colonel Kyle Reed, the Garrison Commander, Mr. Ray Lacey, who is the Family Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Director, and Chief Gina Hawkins, who is our Police Chief. So before I hand this over to Colonel Reed to tell us a little bit about from their end about what's going on, what I wanted to reiterate on this end is this is absolutely a partnership. This is something we look forward to every year from both the city and from Fort Bragg. This race has only increased in its attendance as we continue down the road of developing it, and some good things coming up this year. I think we've got some different things going on that Colonel Reed will talk a little bit about, but one of them is picking the packets down here, right? So that's huge for us. So from the city side, that's really an encouraging thing because it's going to have a whole bunch of folks coming downtown to pick up their package, and it causes them to have to come through downtown and shop downtown and interact with folks downtown. And so that's really important from our side, and we really look forward to that. One of the reasons why we've got the baseball stadium going up next door is going to help from a downtown development perspective, but it also shows off the goodness of our city. And so we really appreciate that. And so it gets a chance for people to come down and see what the downtown area of Fayetteville is all about. So again, partnership is fantastic. We appreciate all the work that Fort Bragg has done to make this happen, and their team of folks from emergency services to family morale, welfare, recreation folks to Colonel Reed and his staff, and then on our side too with Police Chief Gina Hawkins and her crew, and our fire emergency services personnel as well. This is absolutely a team effort. So with that being said, thank you for all you've done to make this event happen, and let me hand it over to Colonel Reed, and then we'll take questions from you all.
Well, what a great opportunity to address what's about to occur down here on Sunday morning. So as Kevin just mentioned, packet pickup is downtown this year at the Metropolitan Room. So on Friday afternoon, evening, there's an opportunity to pick them up there, as well as Saturday all day from 9 to 6 p.m. The benefit of that is you get to come downtown, you get to see where the start will actually occur. You get to understand the dynamics of parking plan and the challenges associated with that, but also you'll familiarize yourself with the route. One thing that is a little bit different this year as opposed to last year is continuing with the plan for the route itself. You may hear in the background that train coming. We do have a plan for not only the coordination but also the assistance with CSX, the provider here, to time those appropriately, whether it's speeding a train up or delaying it slightly, to ensure that the race runners, they're safe along the course itself. We have more than, or representatives from all 50 states across the United States that are going to participate in this. There's already more, there's about 200 more personnel already registered for the race itself than last year's number, so we're 3,300 plus already, with a grand total number that we could support of about 4,600. So there are great opportunities and more opportunities for people to join in if they're interested. The race does kind of start a little bit early in the morning, but the benefit of that is it clears the race course for those that live in the surrounding area, because it is a great opportunity to not only see what's going on downtown, but along the course itself there are many historical sites for people to admire and also observe as they traverse the course, because it does go from downtown all the way through the city, and then it ends up on the installation where there are opportunities to run truly from Mike, that is at the Airborne Special Operations Museum, all the way to the Iron Mike that's at the traffic circle on the installation, and then end at the main post parade field. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Chief Hawkins, just in case you have any concerns with her.
Thank you, Colonel. Only thing I want to just add a little bit is the exciting part of being able to pick up your packets on Saturday. It gives you a little more time to look at the city, enjoy the city, and just be prepared. We're going to be vigilant. We have enough staff for security for the race. Don't be worried about going to services in the morning. It should be cleared up at that time period. Come down and visit. See the many things next year. Stay tuned. There's going to be even more things coming for the race. But in regards to just safety, we really appreciate the entire, not just the runners, but the people who are supporting. Be aware of the streets, the street closures, because the most important thing is that the runners are safe on the track back to Fort Bragg. So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Any questions? Questions? Sure, I can start off a little bit, and hopefully Chief Hawkins can back me up here a little bit as well. So let me start. We don't expect parking to be any different now than it would be for the Dogwood Festival, which is coming up in a couple weeks, and actually the ribbon cutting on the 13th of April, or even the first opening home game on the 18th. There's a little bit more restrictive parking right in around the downtown area, but by and large, that's not going to affect the overall scheme. We've got about, how many parking spaces downtown total? Is it 45?
A little bit more than 45.
Little-
You're talking about on the street.
No, total downtown, 4,500?
There we go.
Yeah, 4,500 downtown. So there's more than enough parking, as there would be again for that Dogwood Festival. So really just encourage people to shop around for a spot, look in the spots that they normally would, go to the parking deck, the garage, go down near the county courthouse, as they would for any other big event downtown. We will be coming out, though, to your question, with a more detailed parking plan for what happens next with the ribbon cutting and the opening game, because we've got some things that we'll be unveiling here in the next couple weeks about that.
And I understand, sir, that a lot of the runners are coming in from Post as well. They have buses bringing in runners from Post.
Yeah, I was going to mention that there is a parking plan on the installation with a shuttle that departs to come downtown, so that when you actually complete the race, you're at your vehicle already. Or after the race, there are shuttles that come back down to bring people back downtown for link up with their vehicles or their family members. And the host hotel is at the Marriott on McPherson Church, which has another shuttle that brings them to the start line, and after the race brings them back to that location.
Can you talk about the collaborative security effort with Bragg?
Absolutely. Kevin already covered the coordination, the partnership, but it isn't just the city police down here. It's not just the installation, worried about just the installation itself. There is an overarching presence across the entire route itself, where we have the ability to not only monitor it, but also provide assistance in the event that something does happen. Because there could be a time where the transition point as it goes on the installation, well, who takes care of it, where do they go to, and the resources associated with that. So there is a joint operating facility that will manage the entire course itself and allocate resources associated with both off the installation and on the installation. Okay? Anything else? Yes, sir.
8-9 mile mark, and put the signs up and all that. So how important is that to have that out there?
It is a tremendous opportunity to recognize the sacrifice that some people make as part of their service to our great nation. So the Blue Mile is what it's called. It's starts at the 8 mile mark and goes to the 9 mile mark, and is right before they enter into the installation. And last year was a true testament to, even though the weather wasn't that great, there were more than 1,000 people out there cheering on those race runners, and they have placards along the course for all the personnel that have lost their lives as part of the global war on terror while serving here on this installation. So it is tremendous. It'll be the same area as last year. I don't know the numbers of volunteers that will come and support during that mile, but based off the weather and the conditions of what it's looking like on Sunday, I think there could be a really large showing for that. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I know when this started, there was an idea or a goal that it might eventually become the official Army Marathon. Is that still a goal? Do you feel like it's moving closer to becoming that?
There have been a lot of conversations about that. And to be honest with you, I don't know whether it's actually making forward progress. We continue to address it every year for consideration on behalf of the Army, as this is the Army Marathon, but we haven't received any positive feedback for that. We just continue to provide input and perspective of how this potentially could be that for the Army, much like the other services have theirs. Okay. Other questions? Okay, thank you.